Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Make It Make Sense GOTV Tuesday. I am your host, Monique Pressley. So thankful for you joining again, whatever the case may be. We've been talking about voting today. We talked about an hour ago about Black farmers and the need for the government to make things right and uphold promises to our farmers of color who were promised funding through the American Rescue Plan and promised debt forgiveness plus 20% for taxes and did not get it because of some whole legal rigmarole, etc. The Congress rescinded, changed the legislation, came back with something else that was not the same. We talked about that, but then we talked to Melanie Campbell, convener Black Women's Roundtable, and we talked about their unity campaign and things they're doing to get out the vote and the tour that they are on, the Unity Tour, which includes comedy, bringing joy to activists and organizers. And that was great. And we are continuing our GOTV Tuesday, waiting for the executive director of When We All Vote. And I will give you a little bit, if I can. If you guys are not familiar with whenweallvote.org, please go there. You can find out all kinds of things. So you can find out how to vote, know your voting rights, pledge to vote, how to vote by mail. In places where you can vote by mail, they give you ways that you can take action with Fight for Our Vote, upcoming events, etc. And then you can read information about the organization that was formed by our forever FLOTUS, Michelle Obama. You can register to vote. When you go to whenweallvote.org, there's a way that you can fill out your information there. And then it's after you do this, you have to wait for what you receive, and it goes for your particular state. But if voter registration has not passed, then can you guys see that? You can go on there in order to register to vote. You can donate, which of course is always good. Stephanie Young is the executive director. I'm trying to find her information. She's been on before. She's not a stranger to the show, but still, I want you to receive her well. They are doing hard work and they are on the ground. So, and she's been ripping and running back and forth one side of the country to the next and everything in between. So we're always glad when we have an opportunity to get her on here. But When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. It was created by, as I said, our forever FLOTUS, Michelle Obama. When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic engagement for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. They empower supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for voting rights, and holding elected officials accountable. You can read all about the campaigns that they have done. Their co-chairs for the year are Michelle Obama, Steph Curry, Becky G, Selena Gomez, Tom Hanks, Liza Koshy, Jennifer Lopez, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Janelle Monáe, Chris Paul, Megan Rapinoe, Shonda Rhimes, Bretman Rock, Kerry Washington, and Rita Wilson. And then when you get to staff, you have the gorgeous, the talented, and the now present on our feed, Stephanie Young, Executive Director and Senior Advisor of Civic Organization. She's a powerhouse. Go read up on her. I'm not even going to take up her time doing fancy intro. She served ably. She served us well in the Obama administration, which is where I think I first intersected with her and before. But she's here with us again today. So can you please welcome the Queen? The Queen is here. Stephanie Young from When We All Vote.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
We are a little crazy because we're 21 days out now until the election, and I don't think people understand how close we are to getting out to vote. And people are voting already. My mom sent me her I voted sticker. She's in Atlanta, and I'm actually on my way to Atlanta this evening.
You froze. We'll wait on you. Uh-oh. It's lagging, as my kids would say. So we can't hear you. I hope you're not talking. Uh-oh. Should we try again? Yep, we should try again. Okay, we had her. She's gonna be right back. It was lagging. Just Instagram life. I just accepted. Hopefully we'll be good this time.
Okay, that's my fault. I was trying to get like some dust off of my phone and I went like that. So my bad. I'm not touching my phone, but
so your mom voted. She's in Atlanta. You're on your way to Atlanta. That's the last thing we heard.
On my way to Atlanta, we're doing something with our My School Votes team and our schools. My School Votes is our high school program. So if there are any educators that are joining us or that are interested, or parents, literally you can start a club in your child's school and they learn how to register voters. They get registered themselves, they register the student body, the surrounding community, but then they also learn how to advocate for the issues that they care about. What does it look like to actually build a campaign and to do all the things that means all the things you do really when you are an active citizen. So we're excited about that program. And I am, and then I'm going to sneak up to my homecoming. I went to Hampton. So our homecoming is this weekend, and I have missed so many homecomings because it's always right by election day, but we have
that other school. I didn't know anyone other than Howard University was having a homecoming this weekend.
We are having a homecoming, and after living in DC for so many years, I went to Howard's homecoming, and it's too overwhelming. You guys have too much going on. So I love Hampton's homecoming because you're going to see everybody in one fell swoop, and I'm excited, and we'll be talking about voting there too. But yeah, we're 21 days out, and there's so much that's happening. And Monique, since our last conversation, we talked about what the legal community could do to get involved, and we're actually having a call. It's gonna be announced literally today. We're gonna start promoting it, but we're gonna have a call this Friday with Valerie and Tina and We the Action, which is the legal voting organization that we work with that recruits lawyers to work with organizations like ours and others to protect voters on election day. So
and do we need it? And do we need it? I just came back. As you know, I was in Texas. I did the events with Black Voters Matter Fund. We did a Friday event, which was great, which was like a live show of Roland Show, which was on Texas Southern University's campus, but it was at the Barbara Jordan Mickey Leland School of Public Affairs. And man, it's all the feels, just even with the name.
Yeah,
of it, and it being like in Third Ward, but Sheila Jackson Lee was there,
of
and
course.
that's the she's next in line, right? She's
Hmm.
next in line, so that was fantastic. And the only other Black person to hold that seat was Craig Washington. I used to work for him, so
Yeah,
it was a whole family affair. But that
amazing.
went great. But in between, like every single day, there was an announcement about more locations closing,
Yeah,
about new regulations and things that they're trying to get passed. Beto was on the show. The show was nonpartisan. The show was nonpartisan. We gave an offer for Governor Abbott to also join us, and we didn't hear back.
okay.
So Beto came. Beto came,
Yeah,
and was talking just about like they're making it harder for people who are disabled
yeah.
to
It's
vote.
it's Black people, it's brown people, it's basically if you're a person of color, especially for Black people because they're targeting our neighborhoods hard, and then it's those with disabilities. It's also young people. This literally impacts working class Americans, no matter who you are, because when you have limited access and opportunity to vote, meaning when they shrink the days that you can go vote early, and you can't get off of work, or you can't get childcare, what they're doing is stopping a lot of Americans from being able to make their voices heard. And it's purposeful because we had such great voter turnout in 2020. Even in 2018, the last midterm elections, we had voting increased substantially. And so, because typically during midterms, you have smaller voter turnout and participation, but now there's so much happening. People are way more engaged. And I'm hoping that we stay on trend with keeping that increase in participation. And every time we do that, every time we show how powerful we are when we all vote together, that's what they do. They come in and they say, how are we going to stop this from happening again? Because Black people are afraid to lose the little power that they have, or the power they shouldn't even have in the first place. And so that's why this election season, every election season is important. Every single one. We have to stop saying this is the most important one of our lifetime. However, it does sit at the backdrop of like an insurrection, the backdrop of election deniers, the backdrop of like, severe voter suppression. Over 500 bills have been passed and or introduced all over this country. They've passed in places like Georgia, Florida, Texas, where you just were or are. So like it is a big deal because of where we are in this moment in history, especially for those of us who understand that democracy is on the ballot and have the privilege to think about democracy being on the ballot. And so we have to be very vigilant and thoughtful when we are preparing to go vote. And right now we're in the phase of making a plan to vote. And you can do all that at whenweallvote.org.
Okay, yeah, and I was explaining to them before you got on, I went through a little bit of the website where you could figure out how to register if it's not too late for you to register, how to vote by mail, and check all your status and things like that, which is great. But I'm just wondering, Stephanie, like, because we're so close, we keep telling people vote, vote, vote. And like you said, I've been trying not to sound all cataclysmic end of the world on it, because I know that for some people there's just a feeling of oversaturation and being overwhelmed. Like we heard that the last time, we heard that the last time, we heard that the last time.
Yeah.
And my world is still going. But really, no, it's not. I mean, there have been significant changes just from last election 2 years ago to now. How do we best get the message out of the why it matters when we all vote?
Well, look, I think that we have to remember when we are talking to people in our lives that choose not to vote, that this is not a one and done conversation. So if you take that approach, then the disappointment that you might feel after you express yourself won't feel as profound, because you'll know, well, that's one. It takes at least 7 touches to get someone registered. So that means like people start the process or thinking about it, they stop, they start, they stop, all the things, right? So we have to consistently engage them. And so when you are talking to people who feel like their vote doesn't matter, you got to take that perspective of this is one of many conversations. And one thing I've been telling people to think through, especially for the midterm elections, especially because there's a lot of people who vote in the general election and say, I did that. That should take care of it. I'm not going to do this again. But wrong. We actually need you to do this again and again and again and again, because that's why we end up in the places where we are right now, which are state legislators who control so much of what happens to our bodies, literally. They control our access to the ballot box. They control what your children are going to learn in school. There are so many things that the people that we elect this election season have direct impact on your life. And then I think, you know, as we look at the presidency, we always look at this as like this one fixes all, and it doesn't fix everything. However, if the president and if the Congress work together and they create some amazing bills or legislation that help to move an issue forward, like climate change, if you think about the Inflation Reduction Act. I know I'm back. I had a little call. Sorry about that. But if you think about the Inflation Reduction Act that just passed, that's the biggest piece of climate legislation that we have seen in our history. So great, y'all passed it in Congress. Well, how are you going to feel that in Louisiana, or how are you going to feel that in Georgia, or how are you going to feel that in Michigan or Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or Arizona or Nevada? It all depends on the people who you elect as governor, who you elect to run your state legislative houses, because they will determine how federal funding and all of those pieces get trickled down to you or not. And it all works together. So if you just vote for one side, which is like, I'm only going to vote for the president and focus on whoever's on the ballot for that, and you miss this election, then you miss an opportunity to ensure that whatever good is happening in Washington actually reaches you. And you could have a governor, and we've seen this time and time again, that says, I'm not taking that. We're not doing that. We're doing it our own way, as if it's your own country, and it's not. So I think that we have to take a step back and think about progress and think about why progress doesn't happen, and look at the people that we have in office. Are they blocking progress? Are they opening the door to progress? And this is the election that helps to make the roadmaps, right, for that progress. I'll also say one other thing is with, you know, partisan gerrymandering, which is basically when you know, the elected officials are picking you and you're not picking them, because you're more likely to potentially vote for them. It can also feel like, well, I'm never going to be able to get this person out of office, or there's nothing I can do. Just not true. We have to consistently vote up and down the ballot for every single office, because what that does is it helps to lay the groundwork to move all of the issues that we care about forward. And it's not going to happen in one election. And voting is the investment that we make. So just like you go to the bank and you put some money in the bank, you don't do it one time and say, well, why don't I have, you know, $10,000 saved? You have to consistently go and put money in the bank every month, right? When you are getting an education, you don't leave that class and say, you know what, I'm good. You didn't go to law school and say, you know what, never mind. I did one day of law school. I should be a lawyer now. No, there's a process. There's an investment process. And it's same when it comes to working out or eating right. You don't see the six pack in a day. You got to go back to the gym consistently. Voting is that. It is that investment that you have to consistently make to see progress over time. And then, you know, after you vote, then you advocate for the issues you care about. You got to stay in the game. You got to stay informed. But the midterms to me is one of the biggest investments that we make when it comes to our future and when it comes to the health of our democracy.
What are some easier ways that people can maybe like one-stop shop to find out information about the candidates? Because I went this last time, and I'm old school, like from my grandparents, where we would have they would have the newspaper out and it would have all the candidates listed. They would have the sample ballots. They would have the information. They would have the outfit out. So I try to make sure I know what's going on. But I was like, son, some of those judges, some of those county commissions, and that's stuff that really matters.
That really matters,
it was like 5. I thought there were 3. Yeah. I was not clear. I went with what I knew, but wasn't necessarily the right thing. So how
Right,
can we
right.
prepare?
But at least you went and you didn't stop like and say, you know, I don't know enough, so I won't go. So we got to get past that fear. One thing we have on our website right now is if you go to whenweallvote.org, you scroll down, it says, see what's on my ballot. You literally click that link, you put your information in, and it takes you to our friends over at Ballot Ready. And you can read about every person that's on your ballot. Now, this is populated in real time. So sometimes closer to the election or closer to the time you want to vote is best to go so that you have the most up-to-date information, and it's all nonpartisan information. So they'll say, this senator voted for this, and this, and this. This senator blocked this or did that, or this is what the provision is, and this is what it means. And it leads you to all nonpartisan information so that you're learning about the issue just based on facts and not based on someone else's own perspective and, you know, an input. So that is one of the best resources that we have, and that I encourage everybody to take time and go to Ballot Ready. And that's a part of our making your plan to vote. When we say make a plan to vote, we mean find your polling place, which is in our election center, decide what day you're going to vote early, and then take time to see what's on your ballot. And just like we do with any other activity in our life, you know, unless we're just spur of the moment being fun, you know, we make plans otherwise. You even make plans to have fun. So you got to make a plan to vote because you're thinking, oh, I'll wake up on that day and I'll get it done. But then you show up and you don't have your ID, or you show up and you don't have the proper information, whatever it is, right? So that's why you have to take time in our election.
Or they've changed the location, which is what I was talking to Melanie Campbell about. We're getting these precinct switch ups. So don't just assume where you went last time, it's the same place.
Absolutely. And that actually happened to my mom too, voting in the primary. She was like, it wasn't at the same place. So yes, that's why it's so important to find your polling place ahead of time and not thinking it's the same MLK library or wherever you went before. It might not be the same place. So you got to make sure you're doing your due diligence and checking.
That was the blackest thing ever. Just gotta say, that was hilariously black. Okay, so we're registered to vote. We're committed to vote. We've researched our candidates. We've got our plan for our vote. What can we do between now and November 8th in order to get out the vote for us?
Yes. Well, you're in luck. So literally tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a call for all volunteers that want to take action between now and Election Day. And what we're doing is we are asking you all to host parties at the polls. And what does that mean? That means like hosting a celebratory event at a polling place. The elements are food and music, okay? And we will tell you the areas that we're most interested in hosting these events. This is a national movement. This is not just like us. There's a lot of other organizations that have partnered with us and that are a part of this. But we started Party at the Polls a number of years ago, and it's really taken off because what we know is that when we all vote together and when there's a celebratory event at a polling place, people are more likely to vote. Voting increases by 4%. So we know that we have to make that investment. And so is it the lawyer in me is just shouting for clarification right now. Do you give guidance on safe distances and where they can party? Because of course, again, in Texas, we've got like the comfort food and water prohibition. Yeah, that's the same in Georgia. Yes, so you have to be a certain distance away from the polling place. We give you all of that guidance. And tonight we're going to walk through all of that so that you're fully aware. And then we give you a stipend or a grant really, so that you're able to host this event. And if you represent an organization, we partner with organizations on doing this as well. So if you go to whenweallvote.org, I see that it's pinned now in the chat, and scroll all the way down, you'll be able to see like our events. And the first event should be the event for tonight. And you can sign up to join that call. And get ready to hopefully host your very own party at the polls. And then if you can't host one, you can always join one if there's one close by in your community. And you'll be able to also see that up on our events page. But we're very excited. Over 300 people and or organizations sign up to host events. So you're going to be joining an army of people of goodwill. And then you can also, if you don't want to host a party, you can also sign up to be a voting squad captain. And right now we're texting voters and making sure they have what they need. So you can sign up to be a part of our squad, our voting squad. Mrs. Obama and her squad, her husband, the former president, went and voted yesterday. And if you take a look at her Instagram, she said, I got my voting squad. He's in it. And they voted. So we'd love for you all to do the exact same thing. Get your squad together. You can sign up to be a voting squad captain, or you could just say, you know what, I'm gonna get 3 to 4 friends ready to vote, and we're gonna plan to go vote together. We're gonna take a cute little selfie and do #voting_squad and challenge other people to do the same. So it's all about GOTV. It's all about getting out the vote. It's all about making sure that you're prepared and bringing other people along with you.
All right. Well, I love a good party. So even just the thought of it is kind of exciting to me. I am sure I will be someplace being a monitor that day, because I can't.
Yeah. Where are you, Monique? You're in Texas, right?
No, I'm in DC, but I'll probably be in Texas that day.
Okay.
I thankfully vote someplace. I vote in Maryland, so my vote actually does count here, because DC wouldn't be any better than Texas as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's another subject. DC statehood. I thank you for telling us all the things that we can do. I know that there are also ways that we can give. Are there, if we go to whenweallvote.org, is that?
It's right. It's whenweallvote.org. It's right at the top, and you can donate to us. We would appreciate anything. It could be $5, it could be $2, it could be $200, no matter what you want to do. I'll also say we have some really cute merch, so you can give through getting some gear to go vote. You can't use partisan stuff. You can't like have a candidate on your shirt. I have Biggie Smalls on my shirt today, but we have this really cute shirt for women, and it says, I'm voting for her, or I vote for her, and her, and her, and her, obviously. Ooh. You know what that means. But it's super cute, and it's all about women and voting and getting us excited, which we already are. So that's a really cute shirt. And then we also have a very classic When We All Vote sweatshirt. So we just started to promote all of our merch on our platform, which I'm on right now. You can take a look, but that's another way to give too. If you're like, I want something cute to wear to the polls and I want to give to When We All Vote, buy one of our shirts.
Okay, well, we're going to do all those things, and I'm going to make sure that somebody on my team's on the call tonight. And
yes, and I want to make sure you're on our call on Friday with Valerie and Tina and the legal community. And I will share information with you, because I know that you have a ton of friends, especially at the Bar Association and others. I would love for you to share with them too. Yes,
and we care. Lord knows we care. And we fight and we push, but the vote is essential. It's just a bedrock. And so I'm thankful for the work that you do, and of course for our Forever Flotus and her husband who's on her voting team. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all the team, and for you taking the time out with us today, because I see you've been, preaching and such and so on. I know it was a speech.
Thank you.
Preach, girl, preach. But anyway, listen, PKs have it somewhere in them. It's in them somewhere.
Well, we know how to get up and say something, because my parents made me. There was never a day, okay, where I would ever be like, I don't want to say this, or I don't want to speak. I had to get up and speak. Okay, so now I know how to speak, because my parents forced me to. But yeah.
Yes. Well, praise the Lord. So thank you again, guys. Follow everywhere that When We All Vote, because we try to bring here, Stephanie, people we can trust, and you've been before, your trusted voice, and you give us facts and data and information that we need so that we can do better, especially so close to this election. So we appreciate your time. Thank you. What happened to my screen, but thank you so much.
Thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Bye.
All right. So guys, I know that I'm hoping, is what I should say. I'm hoping that you got great information. You can follow When We All Vote for resources. You can see it there. Stephanie's always informative when she comes. It's all hands on deck, guys. It's all hands on deck. So let's just do everything that we can in the space that we're in. And there's no place that's too small. There's no place that's too small. There's no person that doesn't have any reach whatsoever. If you leave your house, or if you use your phone or if you are on the internet, if you are on Al Gore's internet, if you do any of those things, like you could be living by yourself, but you talk to people through the internet, or you go to work during the day, or even if you work from home, but you got to use a computer to do your work. I mean, come on, carrier pigeon, whatever it is, I'm saying, please, please do your part by making sure you are ready and able to vote and to be a responsible voter by knowing about the candidates and knowing what's available and knowing how to wield your power, and then bring some other folks in and take advantage of the things that When We All Vote is offering, like a party. Come on, guys. Let's throw some voting parties. I love it. And please give whenweallvote.org. You can trust them. All right. And they care about you caring about you. That's the way I want to say that. All right. That's it for today. Our double-decker voting edition of Make It Make Sense. Please support us. Cash App, if you like the content, it's $ Monique Pressley TV, paypal.me/Monique Pressley TV. All of this is at the link tree in my bio. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Monique Pressley TV. Did you guess it that time? Did you guess it? And if you want to be a friend of the show or a sponsor of the show, we'd love to have you. You can email at sales@moniquepressley.com. Someone will get right back with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I may even be back one more time tonight. I'm trying to work on something about some things that are about to come out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Set your alerts so you know when I'm going live. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.